that we help them to do that so that the university is aware of what's happening in their own campuses. Also, in reality, some things have changed. I run something called the Israel Education Center, but the reality is this year I've said Israel much less than I have in the last 12 years of my career. And on the flip side, I've said proximity and community relations 101 much more. So we're just not leading with Israel anymore in the kind of environment that we're seeing. We saw the fall, we had much less anti-Israel activity happen in the fall as there was a distraction with the elections and what was happening. It's starting to ramp up now, but it has given us an opportunity to think about how to be in the places that we want to teach Jewish students to be in, and how to lead with their values and the things that they care about. So the Israel Education Center was really built on the principles of community relations, which means we train students to be in proximity with those they care about. In order, they have to do it though with a very authentic voice. You don't just train someone to walk into a meeting and say, hey, I care about Israel, I know this is your thing, but we could partner and do a program together. It's not really what, all of you know this, it's not what community relations is about. We have to find the things that the students care about, whether they're passionate about the environment, or they're passionate about LGBTQ rights, or they're passionate about whatever else is happening on campus at that time, and make sure that they're making the kinds of connections that they can make to further their own goals in that social justice arena, plus then maybe being able to make a connection on the Jewish or Hillel or Israel front. But we're learning that has to come second. It has to happen in a really authentic way. I know that many of you aren't set up in the same way we are in Chicago. We have a direct relationship with the Hillels and direct access to the students because the Hillels are a department of the Federation. But I know many community relations groups are not quite set up to have that kind of direct access to students. So we also have this kind of multi-pronged approach that doesn't just include working with the students, and that's, I hope, where I can focus. I have no idea how much time I have, but I'm going to take it all. So,
about 3 minutes.
Okay, I promise. So I'll say I'm a very practical person. I like practical solutions to the things that we care about. I really enjoyed what Aaron David Miller said. If you can't be transformational and you can't lead, you have to be transactional. And I think in some of those transactions, a lot of progress can actually be made. We started this year in coordination with our Jewish Community Relations Council, with the Anti-Defamation League. We invited all of our local area administrators with any title related to Dean of Inclusivity and Diversity, Dean of Students, to Campus Safety, and Provosts, to come to a training specifically designed by the Anti-Defamation League, but with our relationships, to talk about hate crimes and bias incidents on campus. We also invited, very strategically, all of the Hillel directors to be there to help bridge those gaps between what administrators understand to be anti-Semitism, what they understand to be political speech, and helping them see the impact of what virulent anti-Zionism, crossing that line into anti-Semitism does. But Israel was mentioned maybe twice. And the concern of hate crimes and bias incidents against any minority students or against any students at all for whatever reason, understanding the importance of reporting those, making sure that students have the access to report those and making it as easy as possible, was a really deep and meaningful conversation that we could have with the administrators, a value add, plus relationship building with the Hillels and with us to create those strong partnerships so we could pick up the phone really anytime if we needed to. We also have had the pleasure of hiring as a consultant the former chancellor of the University of Illinois, who has given us really effective tools on how to actually work with administrations, how to speak their language. And